Many fear the oceans or outer space because of mysterious or unsolved findings. They didn't realize that rivers were also home to one of the terrifying creatures on the planet. If you ever search the bottom of the river, you'll find a ton of amazing stuff. And every now and then, some unlucky people will find these things. Here are a few amazing things in the river that no one was supposed to see. Vampire fish. One of the terrifying animals in the world is the vampire fish, also known as the Payara saber-toothed tigerfish or water wolf. One of the scariest in South America, this fish reaches a length of 3 feet and a weight of 35 pounds. They're distinguished by 2-meter-long, 6-inch fangs, silver scales, and spiky teeth. They're carnivorous fish that even consume lethal piranhas. Payaras are aggressive, risky hunters. Even piranhas have a reputation for avoiding and hiding from vampire fish. Electric eel. One of the most unusual marine animals on the planet, electric eels are typically found in slow-moving creeks and rivers throughout South America. These predatory fish can reach lengths of 8 feet and weigh up to 44 pounds. Despite being called eels, they're more closely related to carp and catfish. Freshwater predators, known as electric eels, can produce electricity to stun prey and fend off other predators. About 6,000 specialized cells called electrocytes, which can store energy like small batteries, are present throughout their bodies. When an electric eel senses danger or the time to attack its prey, its cells discharge electricity all at once. Some species of electric eels can only generate low-level charges, but also known species emit up to 800 volts. Bronze Age axe. In the first archaeological river search of this location, these relic hunters set out to find artifacts from Scotland's greatest medieval warriors, revealing secrets from the battle sites of their most famous victories against their despised English overlords. They came across this 3,000-year-old amazing Bronze Age axe head, a stunning piece of history. Ide girl. When a body with fiery red hair suddenly rose to the surface of a bog near a village in the Netherlands on May 12, 1897, some Dutch peat cutters were horrified. They all fled the scene, believing they had seen the devil. However, none knew this body would soon lead to a significant discovery. Upon inspection, the girl is a deformed and blackened corpse, but with strands out of its hair, the color of fire. Many people assumed this girl had been executed or sacrificed because of the slip-knotted rope around her neck and the knife wound close to her collarbone. This girl lived between 54 BC and 128 AD, almost 2,000 years ago. Numerous bog bodies have been discovered around Europe, and specialists agreed that most belonged to persons residing illegally, convicted felons, or found guilty of adultery. Fortunately, the tannic acid in the marsh water preserves bodies even after thousands of years. Today, the Ede girl's remains can still be found on display at the Drench Museum in the Netherlands. Doll Graveyard. Locals in Prattville, Alabama were startled in 2014 when officials found 21 dolls in the area's marsh. All the dolls were old. Most of them were made of porcelain. The dolls were unsettling enough, but they were all fastened to bamboo stakes, adding to their ominousness. When word of the dolls spread throughout the community, locals stated their concerns to the authorities, who were forced to get in a canoe and paddle around to recover the dolls, even though they were terrified. One of the locals had spotted the dolls while driving through the swamp, and they had dismissed it as nothing more than a sick Halloween prank. Authorities say it was probably just a teenage prank, but some locals still believe the dolls may indicate something more sinister. Giant stingray. The largest freshwater animal on Earth. These creatures are considered extinct fish that haven't changed much throughout millions of years. They can grow up to 16.5 feet long from the disc to their tail and weigh as much as 1,300 pounds. Their natural colors are brown or gray. Aside from their habitat and nutrition, their bodies are identical to those of their saltwater relatives and are wide, flat, and have whip-like tails. They're typically buried in sandy river bottoms in Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia. These species, which may appear to be gentle giants, can become one of the most dangerous freshwater animals when threatened. Like stingrays, gigantic freshwater rays have a sharp barb at the base of their tail that can quickly cause significant injuries to human skin and bone. Bronze Roman head. Having hollow dark eyes, the severed bronze Roman head was found in Suffolk's Ald at Rendham in 1907. The face is heart-shaped with a strong chin and nose, large, slightly slanting eyes, and low-set ears. The bronze statue head may have been tossed into the river by residents of the Roman colony at Colchester, according to historians who believe there are no known Roman towns close to the river where it was discovered. It's still unclear to historians whether the statue shows Emperor Claudius, who led the invasion of Britain, or Emperor Nero. Scuba diver spider. This 8-legged spider that dives underwater can breathe using a water bubble that functions as an oxygen tank. Because they're the only species that can survive underwater, spiders are bad news if you have a fear of them. Their bites can be uncomfortable, resulting in nausea and mild shivering that can persist for several days. Alligator gar. The scales of this alligator gar are so hard that humans have used them to make breastplate armor and carve arrowheads. Gar are distinct fish with long, cylindrical-shaped bodies and heads, elongated jaws, and needle-like teeth. The alligator gar is one of the largest freshwater fish, measuring 10 feet long and weighing 280 pounds. Like alligators, this ancient family of fish has several primitive features such as a skeletal system that contains a great deal of cartilage instead of bone, and their vertebrae are similar to those seen in reptiles. Finally, gars have a swim bladder connected to their esophagus and functions as a lung, allowing them to breathe air in stagnant waters with little oxygen. Because fossil evidence indicates that the species has been around for nearly 100 million years, dating back to the early Cretaceous period, and they have retained the morphological characteristics of their ancestors, they are known as living fossils or primitive fish. Russian tank. The T-34 is a medium tank that was first used in 1941. It's best recognized for its use in the Second World War alongside the Red Army. More than 80,000 of these tanks would be constructed over the generations for use by the Soviet Union and its communist allies, which at the time included China, Cuba, and North Korea. The T-34's medium tank was designed specifically to deal with winters and hard, snowy, muddy terrain. Voodoo cauldrons. Voodoo is a sensationalized parody of a religion that began in Haiti, though it has followers in other countries, including Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Brazil, and the United States. It was similar to that of so-called voodoo dolls or zombies. Fishermen used magnets to capture some voodoo artifacts in the Detroit River. Magnet fishing is a thing. Imagine what you could snag with powerful magnets at the bottom of a lake or river. However, this father-daughter fishing trip usually involves catching fish or attempting to. The two began going on expeditions with other magnet heads in groups and posting videos of their finds online. But for the father and daughter team, a nice catch might be a bike or a pocket knife. Not today. It's a little unsettling. Nobody knew Detroit was such a voodoo hotspot. How many cauldrons there are. The Afro-Caribbean practice of voodoo encompasses a wide range of cultural components, personal creeds and behaviors, as well as a complex system of traditional medicine. The voodoo cauldrons serve as symbols of their sacred traditions and local history. Mata mata. Turtle. Mata mata. Its carapace, or shell, is rough, and its neck and head are covered in bumps and ridges. It also has a huge flat head and an elongated snout. This South American turtle is well known for its distinctive appearance. Before their current name was given, these species were known by 14 different names, although they only reach a maximum length of 18 inches and can weigh up to 33 pounds. These turtles are quite large. Mata mata turtles rarely bite, but when they do, it can be quite painful, which is why most dislike being handled or touched. That's all we've got for today, guys. Also, don't forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe for more entertaining content. We'll see you again soon.